everybody. Gonna do a review on a 2017 Nissan Altima. Give you my opinion on it. Maybe some of the features, how it rides, my experiences with it. Maybe to help somebody out in their future purchase or thinking about buying one. I've been driving this car. It's actually a rental because mine's due for recalls, and parts aren't available, so they gave me this Altima to drive. I've had this car for over a month. I got it with just under 1,000 miles on it. It now has, it's just about to hit 3,000 miles. So a couple things. First of all, the Nissan Altima, I really like driving it. It's a cool car. I worked for Nissan for 4 years, and I thought about buying one. Never did, obviously. It's pretty good on mileage. Since I've had it, I don't do any interstate driving. Very rare. I don't want to say city driving because I don't live where it's super populated. Not a lot of people, not a lot of cars, not a lot of stop and go. I drive on roads that are like 40 to 50 mile an hour. That's pretty much what I drive all the time. No highway commuting. And the car's getting, I don't know, 33 miles to the gallon, you know, plus or minus half a mile. It's, you know, like 32, I would say 32.5 to 33.6 is what I get. It says it averages mile per gallon with those driving conditions. Couple things I dislike is these doors. I don't know if you can see these doors and my arm position. For me, it sits too high. I'm not comfortable. I like to ride with my arm out the window during the summertime. I don't always enjoy the AC. So I like to have my arm up on the window. I could boost my seat up. I don't like to ride that high with my head rubbing the ceiling. So that's one thing that's uncomfortable about this car. Second thing is I have two kids. I have both car seats in the back of this, and I did notice the way the roof slants in the back. When your kids are bigger, my kids are 3 and 4, and when they get that big, I mean, they're not huge, but when they get that big, it's hard to try to lean over and put them in the car and put them in. It's difficult. Something like a Rogue, which my wife has and drives all the time, it's much easier because the roof's taller and you can actually put your head into at the same time, not so much arc on your back. That's another dislike I have about this car, but I deal with it. It's a free car to drive. What the hell? What I do like about it is, you know, the motor's plenty peppy. The handling's great. The suspension's tight enough to where, you know, if you did want to drive a little bit aggressively, you can. It's definitely no race car, but it's got plenty of pep, get up and go. Yeah, the radio's fine, CD player, doesn't have any satellite, has a backup camera, which is nice. I've never ever wanted a backup camera. The backup camera's made me lazy backing up. I just kind of look at that thing, do a quick check. I shouldn't, but I do. That's it. Cloth seats, pretty basic. Other than that, it's definitely not the fancy model for a rental. Something else I wanted to point out about it that I am forgetting. Oh, the transmission. The CVT transmission in this thing, I feel like it could be smoother. If I'm driving, say like right now, I'm doing about 35 miles an hour. You let off the pedal, you get back on it, you can feel kind of like a chug. You know, the transmission, you know, either picking back up its ratio with the continuous variable transmission. It does that at several different speeds, and it tends to be a little bit jerky or bucky, and I don't like that. It's not a smooth transition. The shifting, climbing gears, I say shifting, but with a variable transmission, it doesn't technically shift. Although sometimes they program the TCM transmission control module to try to simulate a shift to make people feel more comfortable, not weirded out about the continuous variable transmission. But I feel like it could be smoother. I feel like there could be some improvements there. Definitely a little bucking from time to time when you're just coasting and let off. So that's another downfall I don't like about it. But overall, it's definitely a decent car for the price you pay for like a baseline Altima, which I assume this one is, and what it's capable of doing. You know, it's comfortable, rides nice, gets great mileage as far as I'm concerned for what it is. It's not a hybrid, just straight up gas motor. It does really well. Sound, riding, it's quiet. Other than that, that's all I got on the Altima. Tires are a fairly common size, so they shouldn't be too expensive. If you live in a climate where I do, where I get snow, shouldn't be too expensive to buy. Trunk space is reasonable. You know, you kind of put a stroller in there, that pretty much puts a kibosh to everything, but you still have a little bit of room for some groceries and other things that you might want to carry. Bluetooth connecting with the phone, no problems. Nobody complains they can hear me. It actually works really well. The only thing I don't like about this, my wife's Rogue, is every time somebody texts you, the car auto responds, I'm driving. You know, if you have limited text, it's always responding for you. You can definitely still respond with your phone, but it doesn't no matter what. I'm not sure if there's a way to turn it off. I've never looked into it. But anyways, that's my opinion on the Altima. Hopefully it's beneficial to somebody. On that note, I'm out.